Hi everybody, welcome back to Stamping School. I just opened my new pack of the Abundant Beauty decorative masks, and actually I was surprised. I didn't realize they had other things in it besides the sunflowers. So I want to use this one today, and they're just great for backgrounds. So here's a fall, here's snowflakes, here's a houndstooth. These are all in one pack. So everybody seems to be using these. This is in the same pack, and they're fabulous sunflowers. So you can use your brush and go through here, and then the circles for the centers, and then a little bit of accents for the middle, and then the leaves. And these notches all line up. So you always make sure, it doesn't matter what size you use, but just make sure your notches are all lined up the same. And it's a 4-part stencil. But today I am using this one. I'm feeling fall. It's cool outside. As a matter of fact, I even gathered a couple leaves from the ground. They're already starting to fall and looking pretty. So this is the card that I'm going to be doing. I don't have any Thanksgiving stamps, and so this one is going to serve as a Thanksgiving stamp to one of my relatives. A little bit of glitter on there. So I like how it came out. So I'm going to start with a 4x5 1/4 piece, a layer that's going to go on top of the card. And I'm going to get it kind of where I want it. Like I said, it doesn't matter what side. I didn't find any difference between the two. The stencils, I like to tape it down. That's just me. And I'm going to tape it up here. And actually, if you wanted to make your paper bigger and tape that down also, you can. But I just put this down here. And the paper seems to stay there. Now for my color palette, I'm using the good old traditionals, the Regals. I've got a crushed curry, old olive, and I'm going to be using Cajun Craze, although you could use the new copper, but I like the brightness of the Cajun Craze. And this one, I did a touch of peacock in there, and I didn't like it as much. So we're going to stick with just the traditionals, and I always start with the yellow first, and there are big brushes and little brushes. We sell them in the large, and we sell them in the small. I like them both. The small one is kind of nice for little things like this. And don't even think about where it's going, because, you know, leaves, they're going to turn where they want to. A little bit of yellow everywhere. I don't think about what side, anything like that. And then watch these little guys right here, these little spines. I'm going to watch around those. Okay. And then I'm going to do olive next, because if I happen to get a little bit of yellow in my olive brush, I don't mind it as much. Although if you want to, take a paper towel with a little rubbing alcohol on it. Don't use water. That just makes it messy. And just use a little alcohol to clean off your stencil in between. If you're going to be mixing colors and you don't want to contaminate your brush. Also, you can see what you're doing better. All right, olive. A little old olive. And I like to burnish, so I like to go in little circles. But, you know, it's just fun. It's just fun to do. And you don't have to think about it too much, which I really enjoy. So we just had our apple festival here, which is the sign of fall in North Carolina. Because this is apple country where we live. And it won't be long before all the leaf peepers come to see if we have any pretty fall foliage along the Blue Ridge Parkway. And the last few years have not been that great. We've had too much rain or too little rain, or there's always a reason why that the leaves aren't perfect, right? But I'm hoping this year is going to be just right, because I'm already starting to see some color out there. Now this is just a tissue, because I didn't have a paper towel on hand. I would not suggest that, because it leaves little flyaways. Okay, so you can really see how it's coming. Now for the Cajun. Now if you don't have the brushes, you can use sponge daubers. You can use a Q-tip. I have used Q-tips to get into these little areas once in a while. So just, you know, look around, see what you got. Now this I'm using a lighter hand with, because I don't want it to take over the yellow completely. I just want to add a little bit, which is why these little brushes are kind of nice. Just kind of go in little circles. Right here, just a little bit of red. A little bit of red right there. The copper is really pretty, but it almost was a little too brown for the leaves. Okay, now I'm going to look at it. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, it's looking pretty. I like it. Okay. The other thing I'm doing while it's in this position right here, first of all, I see something I need to blend. There's a little messy spot right there. I like the Wink of Stella. I like to add it here and there. And while the mask is on, it kind of makes a nice, quick sparkle without me having to paint it later. So I'm coming in from the outside like this with my Wink of Stella because I want it to be a little sparkly. I love that champagne. And I feel like these are always on low inventory, but they last a long time. And they come back quickly, so there. And then, just to make sure there's no streaky marks, just kind of blend it a little with my finger. There it is. Now, just to take up some of the white space in here, I'm going to do a little flicking, just kind of a little bit of the Wink of Stella flicking everywhere. Add a little bit of sparkles drops. I'm going to do the same thing with my espresso marker. I'm just going to take my blends marker and gently flick the brush tip, real gentle. You don't want to do a lot because you don't want to hurt the tip. There you go. And now we're ready to finish it. Now I know I keep raving about this. This is the adhesive back glimmer paper in big 12 by 12 sheets. Oh, I love it. I love it. It does not shed. It is right. It's just, it cuts so nicely. But I just have a little 1/4 inch strip. Just need to take the paper off the back to reveal that adhesive. There it is, right there. And I'm going to put it right here along the top and the bottom. It's already sticky. Oh, could they make that in every color of cardstock, please? I love it. Every color. I want everything to be adhesive backed. It's fabulous. You know, it'd be really great is white. Could they do adhesive back like our nice white cardstock that's nice and smooth, but make it adhesive back? That would be awesome. So this just gets glued here, and then we can accessorize. I've got a little bit of a vellum accent here. I haven't bought any new leaves this year. Got a lot of great ones that are retired, but these are the aspen leaves, one with the bird perched in a tree. I had 2 of these, so I cut a couple of those out of vellum, and I just sponged those. And same exact thing as we did. Vellum takes a little bit longer to dry, so you have to watch your fingers, but I like the little vellum accent on it, and just sort of model it and make it look the way you want it to look. And all I did was I glued this down. Here, let me put this one next so you can see, and then I'll show you what I did on the inside. And my favorite dies these days, those Nested Essentials. I cut this size right here, and I embossed it with the Basics folder. And then I just added all my little elements on there. So I use Sending Smiles Across the Miles because I don't have a Thanksgiving set. And this one works. And I punched out with this punch right here, a little piece of vellum back here, and then my little vellum aspen leaf. And then this one is cut with the same glitter paper. It's this guy right here. And just added those on there. Now for the inside, and I just smudged up my paper. Look at these fingerprints. I'm gonna have to do something there. Maybe I'll do another leaf there. But I just took the mask and did just the wee corner over here. So I was taking my large aspen leaf and was gonna put it right there. And then the small element right here, I've got Thinking of You for my layering leaves, and I colored just one of the little ferns there. That will just go right on top down here. I wanted it down here because I want to be able to say what I want here. Of course, now I've got a big fingerprint there that I've got to figure out what to cover. Well, I sort of fixed it. I masked over my fingerprints right there. Now I've got less to say. I might have to put a smaller leaf here so I've got a little bit more room to write. Smudges happen. So there's the inside. There's the outside. I would suggest getting these masks because they're a lot of fun, and I can't wait to use the snowflake and then the sunflower, so really kind of fun. But be prepared to get a little ink on your fingers. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. See it, learn it, stamp it.